So today we're making beef empanadas, and I have my ingredients all laid out here. Let me get my skillet turned on, get that warmed up. And we're going to have half a pound of beef. Put that in there. And we're going to start breaking up the beef. And to that we're going to add, I have a mixture here of 2 teaspoons of chili powder, a teaspoon of cumin, and a 1/4 teaspoon of oregano. Cook this until it's brown, no longer pink. And I have some garlic I'm going to add in once it gets started cooking here. Okay, so we're starting to sizzle here. And we'll just keep breaking up the meat and stir it around until it's all brown. And I'm going to add some frozen corn to mine this time for a little extra flavor in there, some extra vitamins. Some lumps in my corn, but this will soon break up as soon as it starts to warm up. And my garlic. That was 3 cloves of minced garlic. In the middle. Get hot. The beef is just about brown. To this, I'm going to add a cup of salsa. Stir this all together. We'll let it cook down a little bit. And by that time, my last corn lump should be broken up. Now, if you had a lot of extra grease on your ground beef, you would want to drain that off. My beef didn't have a whole lot of grease on it, so I'll just let it down a little bit. It's looking good. And I have about a cup of shredded cheese here. Recipe calls for Longhorn, but I'm sure you could use cheddar or whatever you have on hand. I'm going to stir that in. Turn that off. And we'll get ready to make our hand pies. So for the crust of our hand pies, you can go out and buy some pre-made pie crust, or you can make your own. And you're going to want to roll that crust out to 12-inch circle, and then cut out your hand pies. And they call for a 5-inch biscuit cutter. I didn't have one of those on hand, so I had something that was about 4 inches, and I just used the top of a soup bowl that was about 4 inches and made these hand pies, or made the crust for the hand pies. And then this was like leftover scraps. And this is probably closer to the size of what a 5-inch hand pie would be. So once all the liquid is cooked down and we've added our cheese, it's smelling good. We're going to start filling our pies. Take a spoon. Okay. So I'm going to take the pie and crust and pull it over and pinch that edge together and keep all the goody stuff in. I got a little full. one of the nice things about these hand pies is that you can stick them in the freezer, and you want a quick meal, you just pull them out and throw them in your air fryer. Okay, and if we want to make them look a little fancy, we can take a fork and just go around the edge. Give them a little design to the edge of your pie crust. Oops. And this will help seal them as well. Okay, you're going to want to put your finished hand pies onto a lined cookie sheet and set them in the freezer for about an hour before you put them in the air fryer. And that will help them get a nice brown crispy crust on them. So I'm going to stick these in the freezer and we'll be back in a while. You may have heard that we have a new resource available, and we will have a link to that on our web page. Just look under the resources tab and you'll see a whole list of all the different resources that we have available through the Somerset County Library. And our newest one is called AtoZFood America. And you click on this link and you have to enter in your library card. And when you do, you're able to access the site. And you can see you can browse by state, region, ethnic group. You can look at historical, browse by ingredients, and reference. So let's take a look at some of the things. So if you browse by state, and my internet's a little slow, so bear with me for a minute or two. Okay, so if we browse by state and say we want to look to see what foods or what recipes are available for Pennsylvania. And it gives you an overview. Pennsylvania is known as the snack capital of the world, but its cuisine is more than just pretzels and potato chips. Also known for its cheesesteak sandwiches, hoagies, stromboli, and other iconic dishes. Historically, the state's cuisine has been influenced by several immigrant groups, primarily early German-speaking settlers known as the Pennsylvania Dutch. So it gives you sort of like a background about what Pennsylvania's cuisine is like. And of course, we're known for our Snyder's potato chips and pretzels. No wonder that we're the snack capital. Fruits and vegetables that are grown locally in the state. Immigrant and ethnic eats. Many traditional Pennsylvania Dutch recipes are served throughout the state, including shoe fly pie, sauerkraut, bratwurst, soft pretzels, scrapple, German potato salad, pickled beets, and funnel cake. Oh, pierogies. Okay, so that gives you an idea of what's available here. And you can look for recipes. So if I look under appetizers, I come up with Irish pasties. Pierogies are large noodle pockets filled with. Let's click on pierogi and see what comes up. Okay, so if you click on pierogi, you can actually get a recipe for the pierogies, and you can print that off. And you have a recipe for your dough, and then you can make your filling, and it gives you step-by-step instructions on how to do that. So that is pretty cool. All right, so going back, looking under historical, let's see what's under there. So you can see some old photographs of ads and labels, TV commercials. You can actually watch some of the old TV commercials for some of their favorite products. Sunbeam bread. I remember eating that when I was a kid. Let's go to cereals. And you can watch the commercial. And I don't know if I had my sound being shared there or not, but oops, on the right screen. That's some cool stuff that you can find under history. Cookbooks, historic cookbooks. And you can actually download these in PDF format. If you wanted to look at Fowler's Household Tips from 1916. Or a little candy book for a little girl from 1918. Might find some long lost recipe hidden in these books. And we can do a search by ingredients. Let's see. See what comes up under bison. Issue description, the origin. Doesn't give you any recipes though. All right, so what we're making tonight is empanadas. And we're going to look up empanadas on here and see what they have to say about them. And there's a couple articles here. Empanadas, also known as niches. Nakitoques. It's a Louisiana meat pie. And pumpkin empanadas. I think I have a recipe for that. I'll have to try that sometime. But if you click on one of the articles, you can read more about what empanadas are. And see that it comes from the Spanish, meaning wrapped in bread. And they're a stuffed dough dumpling, similar to large pies. Empanadas in the United States are usually bite-sized fried dumplings with a spiced meat filling. You can see the empanadas with some dipping sauces. Looks like some salsa and some guacamole. And it gives you a recipe here. It takes about 30 minutes to prep and about 35 minutes cook time. And you have your ingredients for your dough and for your filling. And a bit different from the one that I'm making tonight, but the filling probably isn't too much different. And then gives you some dipping sauces. Aioli dip made with mayonnaise and adobe sauce. That would be good. And of course the how-tos. So this is AtoZFood America. And if you're into food and food prep, it'd be a cool thing to check out on our website. So make sure you check it out. We'll get that link working if it's not working quite right. And even have cooking techniques. Let's see what we have under cooking techniques. So if you're just learning how to cook, I'll give you some tips or some videos that you can watch
on how to blanch, how to bloom spices, boil chicken. What source of compound butter? I've done compound butter. That is really good. So if you're just learning, there's things here for you, and you can learn new techniques, learn about new foods, and learn about different cultures. So be sure to check it out on our website.
Empanadas have been in the freezer for at least an hour. And we're going to put them in our air fryer. All air fryers are going to be a little different, so whatever your instructions say. I'm going to spray the tray of the air fryer, and it's just a basket that sits inside the drawer. And I use mine a lot. I just spray the holes in the basket allow the air to circulate around the food, and you just lay your empanadas in the basket, and you'll want to do them only so many at a time, so you just have like one layer of food in your basket at a time. And then I'm going to spray the tops of these to help them brown a little bit more. It'll give them that crunch that you usually get with the deep fried without having all that extra grease. I stick that in my air fryer and turn it on. And I'm going to set the temperature for 350 degrees. And then the time we'll start with about 12 minutes and see how they look. And usually about halfway through I like to check and see how they are coming. Empanadas are cooking. I'm going to make some guacamole. I love guacamole and I haven't had it in a while. So when you go to the store, you can tell when a guacamole is ripe when you squeeze it and it's a little bit soft. You don't want it like mushy, but you want it you want to be able to squeeze it a little bit. And cut it in half. This might be a little hard yet, actually. Okay, so we'll cut it in half and then twist it. And you get one side comes out perfectly. And then you take your knife and just twist the pit. And you can get have your pan. To get the guacamole or the avocado out of the peel, just take a spoon and just scoop it out. Now if you wanted slices, you could slice and go ahead and slice while it's still in the peel. And then do our scoop. And perfect slices. Okay, so I'm going to squish this up. I like to be able to mush my avocado before I add anything else to the dish, because it makes it easier to mash. masher works pretty good, but stuff gets stuck in the holes. I have to get one of my spoons and push it out. Alright, so that's my avocado mashed up. And I like to put some lemon juice or lime juice in it immediately because it will start to turn black as soon as it's exposed to the air. I'm just going to add a little bit of lime juice. Stir that through. That'll help keep it fresh. So it gives it a little bit of zing to it too. All right, and then I like to load up my guacamole. So I am going to dice up some onion. Horizontal cuts, and I'm going to try to keep these really close together because I want a nice fine dice. And then we'll cut vertically. There's a really big onion, so I'm not going to use all of it, but I'll use it at some point. I need some diced onion. And I'm going to put some garlic in it, but I want to roast it a little bit before I put it in. Take some of the sharpness out of the garlic. And I like to just put a little bit of olive oil in with this. And then I'll stick it in the microwave for like 10 seconds and check it. And just till it gets soft. Meat pies are at the halfway mark. You can see they're starting to get brown. A little bit longer and they should be perfect. Let's see, I'll dice up some tomato. I just softened up my garlic. And mince that up. Some black olives in my guacamole. said, I love to load everything into my guacamole. So olives, onions, tomato, a little bit of jalapeno pepper. That is all I need. Okay, so let me sprinkle a little garlic powder. Taste it, just make sure, see how the seasoning balances. And some red pepper flake. And just mix that all together. My guacamole. Maybe a little more garlic. I like lots of garlic. Garlic is good for anything. Maybe some salt, pepper. To store this, for any leftovers you have, take some plastic wrap and lay it directly on top of the guacamole before you close up the container, and it'll help keep it looking fresh. Okay, so I put them on for another few minutes, so I wanted to get them a little bit browner. Serve it with my guacamole. And of salsa. Our local store stopped carrying the brand that I like, so when I found it, I bought the biggest container I could find. And that is beef empanadas. Perfect for a snack, a lunch, a side dish. And like I said, I like to keep them in the freezer at all times. So if I need a quick meal, I can just pull it out and stick it in the air fryer, 15 minutes, done. So, hope you give it a try.